Hey, there we go. All right, we got the live button up in the corner. How the hell y'all doing? It's D to the J with a roll away, and this is the second episode of Get Real on Wheelzs Talk. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I have two guests. Believe it or not, the show has multiplied. Want to send a big shout out to my co-host, Miss Shayna. She's not going to be available for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Poor girl's in some pain. Just pray for her. She's going through some stuff. Love you, sis. Hope you get better soon. Yeah, she's really going through it. So y'all pray for her. Send her some prayers. You don't, I'll punch you in the nose. All right, so therefore, get that out of the way. Want to make sure to let y'all know this is unfiltered. This is real. There is no censor. Some stuff going to come out in this little series right here, series 1 through 4. And notice I have 2 men and 1 woman. I have a woman for a reason because I don't want this to be just me and somebody else giving our opinions. I want to have different people. I want to have guests on this show. What we're going to talk about today is a two-parter, honestly, because my friends have brought to my attention that they would like to talk about something. And honestly, when they talked about it, I'm like, hell yeah, we need to talk about that because that fits in with what I'm talking about. As I said, we are not on Let Go Radio. We are live on Facebook. Stuff about to happen. Shit about to happen. Deal with it. Everything's going to be okay. Sit down. Have a little Alka-Seltzer. We're going to let Kyle come back into the screen in just a moment. 3, 2, 1. Come on, there he is right there. Okay, he's back with us now. Okay, everything good.
This is slow connection. It's all right. Guys, my internet is sometimes too, so.
Yeah, it's all right. So I want you guys to kind of fire off the topic that y'all talked about a little bit yesterday because I want to address this and kind of lead into something. As I said, the 4-part series is on relationships, and this is not to take sides on either side. But I want to mention something after they mention this topic. Now, do you want to mention it, Christina? Or do you want to mention it, Kyle? Either or.
I guess it doesn't matter. Christina and I were going to do this as a show topic, but we just kind of wanted to broach the topic of how you communicate with people, and the idea that people with disabilities can tend to be sheltered away from communicating, whether or not by choice or from their parents or just how life goes. But then as we get into adults, some of the skills are lacking, so to speak. The finesse of how to communicate is missing. So I think that's where we're headed. But
yeah, the directness is kind of an issue. I feel like people that have had, good social interactions have some of those skills. And sometimes if parents shelter their kids too much, like, it's not their fault. They don't know how to talk about those things because they haven't had to talk about those things. But Kyle and I have both recently had experiences where people reached out to us online and, the first thing that comes out of your mouth is, "Are you single?" That's not really how that's not really how you want adults to go about that kind of thing.
All right. Now, I agree with what both of you just said. Let me start off with Kyle over here on my far right. Most of y'all see him on the left. Okay. Sheltering a child with a disability in many forms is wrong. I understand that parents are trying to protect their kids. I get it. Okay. But 2 things have to happen in the disabled world. We got to stop labeling people and we got to stop sheltering people because you're not helping them. When you shelter a child, they're not learning. If they're not getting the proper structure, if they're not getting a backbone, if they're not getting a little bit of tough love every now and then, ain't no law against a child crying. Ain't no law against a child being told no. If I tell you no and you cry, I'm going to put your butt in timeout. After I tell you no and you cry a little bit, I'm going to make you sit there for 5 minutes longer until you learn that just because you cry doesn't mean you're going to get your way. Now, am I going to beat the hell out of my child? No. Am I going to take one of them little rubber mats, fold it up, and just whack him with a pile of oranges? No. I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to beat my children. There's a difference in disciplining children and beating the crap out of them. You got to learn the difference.
Very distinct.
Go ahead, Kyle. What was that?
It's very distinct. I mean, there's discipline and abuse.
I was raised that when I did something wrong, in the very rare occasion, I got spanked. I got spanked 3 times in my entire life. And I learned I don't want that stinging hand on my butt. Because I tell you, I got spanked by one of my people, and I peed. I sure enough did. I let the urine flow. I ain't gonna spank me. I got spanked worse for peeing on them than I got spanked for the first time for doing what I did wrong. I said, well, I told you I had to pee. And then he spanked me for talking back to him. So anyway. But see, here's the thing. I believe that a child that is growing up with a disability needs to be part of everything they can. Because when you experience a hardship, you cannot put them in a little box, put them in a little bubble, put them in a little room and say, oh, that's not going to happen to you. They have to experience life, and you can help them to build and get that tough skin. We need not to have such tender skin because you've got to be able to let some things roll off. Which brings me to my
that's how we learn to respond.
Exactly.
To situations. You don't know how to respond until you actually go through the situation.
That's exactly right. Communication between a father and son or a mother and son is important. I have heard that women are nurturers. I have heard that women are protectors. I have heard that women are, and to a point, they are. But I know some women that will snack you around. I know some women that will stab you with an ice pick. I know some women that will come after your ass when you piss them off.
My mom.
Because women, here's the thing, and I'm being honest. When you talk to a woman, you get 2 sides. You get the, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. I enjoyed talking to you. It was a nice date. This, that, and the other. Then you get the, boy, if he contacts me one more time, I'm going to key his car. I'm going to pour cream cheese in his battery. I'm going to fill his gas tank with scorpions. See, because I've gotten my thing that I hate the most is I like you, but I don't like you like that. Yeah. Because I've gotten the women that, man, let me tell you. Oh, you're like a big brother. I said, yeah, I'm like a big brother. Okay, I'll take that. That's okay. I don't mind. See, sometimes I get that statement. Sometimes I understand what I say, but I got that shit a lot in high school. Oh, I could talk to you about anything, but I just can't kiss you. What is it? I got cooties or something? Do I smell? I go chase after them. Hey, come here. Don't you run from me. Come here. Hey, come here, girl. Wait a minute, don't you run. You know, I chase them, hit them in the back of the heels on purpose. Yeah, let me help you to class. I ain't mean to make you limp. I'm sorry. That's communication. You got. But on certain levels, all kidding aside, you've got to communicate with your children, and you've got to communicate as adults so they can understand. But you got to bring it to a level that they can understand.
Right, and it depends on the age of. It depends on the age and the ability level of the child too. Like, I understand that not everybody with a disability has the same level of understanding, but I do think we do them a disservice, whether it be as a parent or as a teacher or as a mentor, when we don't try to help give them some skills for effective communication.
Exactly. Kyle, your thought?
Well, and you can't be afraid to critique either. Like, hey, you responded this way, but next time try this way. Or, it's okay to give advice. It's, you don't want to be mean, but.
And remember, we're talking about 2 different things, okay? the age of the person is going to matter how you address them.
Mhm.
If they're younger, you're going to address them as younger. Not that crap. I will punch you in the mouth. I will straight up. You're doing such a good job. Bam! Right in the mouth. And you're going to choke on it.
Address someone as their age. Like you should never assume just by looking at somebody. I get that still. I'm 26. Well, yeah, gonna be 26 years old here in another month. And I
keep
still
getting old up there.
I get that I'm little and I get that I'm cute, but that does not mean that you can talk to me like a 5-year-old. People should not assume.
I will say this live right now. I love my father to death, but I had to have a conversation with my father because he'd come in, son, Daddy loves you. You're doing such a good job living on your own. And I'm going to tell you what, got your shoes on and tied up. Dad, I am not 12. I am not 6. I am not 5. I am 39. Can you please talk to me as if I were an adult? And therefore, we will have a conversation as two Englishmen should, one with more hair than the other. Therefore, we will move on. But honestly, look, I believe that if a child is 10 and a child sees something that he or she should not see, and they want to know, why do they treat me this way? Why do they treat me like I'm different? Why do they say I can't play their games? All right, here's the deal, big man. You're 10 years old, so I'm going to talk to you like a 10-year-old. You can do anything you set your mind to. But in this world, we are labeled as doers and do-nots. That's how it works and how people see us. I said, sometimes you've got to prove the world wrong. Sometimes you have to make or break it. Sometimes you have to show people who think you can't that you can't. Blake, I know I'm old. Stop telling me that. Anyway, as you guys come in, if you have questions, hey, Shayna, I hope you're doing good, sweetheart. We missed you. Wish you were here. I want to say this. I believe there's a proper way to talk to a child, and I believe if you talk down to a child, you're going to pay for it later. If you talk down to your children and tell them they will be nothing, tell them they will do nothing, parents have got to stop putting limits on their kids. This goes back to communication. Top 3 things that break up a marriage and a relationship: communication, sex, and money. We're going to get into that, but I want to cover this topic first because it's important. If you talk to your kids like they are nothing, they will be nothing. Stop it. Treat your kids how you want to be treated. Now, I'm not saying address the verbiage. You don't have to use medical jargon. Honey, your torso is not aligned with your cerebellum. What? I don't understand. I walk a crooked mile. Your back ain't straight. Okay? It's all right. We're going to work on it. We're going to put some clothespins, some super glue, some acupuncture needles. We're going to put some Play-Doh in there. We're going to make it straight. Christina, you know what I'm talking about. You got all that stuff in your back, girl.
Something tells me we shouldn't go to DJ for medical advice on our back, but
wow. Now you know, Lord Jesus, she's starting already.
No, but I had something I wanted to say though too. You know, I totally agree with what you're saying about the parents not talking down to their kids, and I'm fortunate enough that I've never had that from my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Where I find that I've gotten that a little bit more is from my grandparents, and nothing against them. I love them dearly, but I feel like those that don't have those daily interactions with us are more likely to talk down to us because they don't necessarily realize the level of independence that we might have, and I just think it makes it harder for them to like judge where we're at.
You know, Blake is on this show, and I want to address something because Blake and I have been friends for a long time. Blake, when I first met Blake, I had a brainless moment because he had CP2 and he could walk, and his one side was affected. And out of nowhere, I go, Blake, you were born with CP, right? Like, I totally forgot. Like, I just blanked out, and I asked him the stupidest question known to man because I knew the answer. And I when I asked him the question, he's like, yeah, I was born with it just like you. And then there's the whole moment of, oh my God, did I just say that out loud? But here's the thing. When it comes to parenting, there's no manual. There's no manual when it comes to parenting. Okay? Some parents are far too young to be parents, but it happens. In other words, keep your stuff in your pants until you're ready. I'm going to bring that up too. Look, just because, and let me say this, just because a person has cerebral palsy or a disability, it does not mean they're paralyzed and their stuff don't work. To qualify that statement, let me say, my stuff works just fine. Okay, everything south of the equator is the way it's supposed to be, and I'm good. No, no, it's the CP fairy. Okay, it's the CP fairy, Blake. I understand. So that's how he got his CP. So when you go to address your child about an issue, think of their age level, think of what you're going to say to them, and talk to them with words they can understand. Don't make it complicated, but don't talk down to them as if they're objects and they're not going to feel. Children remember everything. Amen. And later on, they're going to go and write a book about what you did wrong. So you will pay for the things that you say that you should not say. So let me move a little bit. I think children, seeing something through the eyes of a child, there's an innocence. Now, I'm going to bring this up. Kyle's got a big innocence about him that I like. And when I talk to him, there's a shyness. And I'm bringing this up because we're people, okay? Oh, yeah. It's not – Kyle is very thankful about who he is and what he says, and he tries very hard to think before he speaks. But he is also very concerned about what other people think of what he's going to say. And it is – did I say that right?
Yes.
Did I do that right? Yes. And I was the same way. I was, I don't know if I should say that. Now I'm like, fuck you, I said it. It happened. My filter got turned around somewhere, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if I got dropped on my dome as a baby. Sorry, Mom. I don't know if me and my daddy fought out in the ring. I don't know what happened. I won that fight, by the way. But I'm just trying to tell you, sometimes, see, here's the thing. You got to figure you out. Mm-hmm. Every child that is sheltered eventually is going to be non-sheltered. So they're going to come out and they're going to be like, ooh, pretty. And they're going to be like, I want to touch it. And I want to grab it. And I want to, oh, God, there's a policeman. I can't do that. So the things that happen to where these, not necessarily perverts go, girl, I want to touch it. Are you single? No. Do not, when you meet a girl and you're dating, don't ask her the first question, are you single? Please. Say hello. How are you? You have nice hair. I like the way the glasses frame your face. Sorry. I'm just, say things like that after your third or fourth conversation and you get to where they're talking to you about stuff, try saying, are you seeing anyone at this time?
Right.
That makes it a little bit neater than going, you got you boyfriend? I'm going to come up there and cuddle. And she's like, get the fuck away from me. No, I mean, it just, you have that moment.
Yeah, when that first message is, are you single? Like, that's like a panic thing for me. That's a warning signal. That's like, okay.
So let me go back to my early player years when I was in school.
You were a player. I wouldn't have guessed.
Boy, I was a player for the Himalaya. I would talk to a girl just to touch the butt. I just wanted to get. I was a boob and an ass man. That's what I was growing up. I told you this show's unfiltered. I was a boob and an ass man growing up. That's all I wanted. That's all I cared about. I said boobies. I mean, I was just like, once you've seen one, you've seen them all. Things happen. Some are smaller, some are bigger, some are medium, some are oblong, some are well-rounded. Some you can play basketball with. Some you can shoot as hockey pucks. Some you just look at and go, God, I wish I could just grab them. Never mind. But anyway.
Did you see Blake's comments?
Oh, God. Let me see. Hey, girl, I want to go out sometime.
Thanks for the laugh, Blake.
That's a perk right there, but that's true. That's true.
Close park. Yeah.
Let me put that one up.
Parking. That's accurate.
That's a good opening line.
That right there. That right there. Hey, girl, you real pretty. Want to go out sometime and get us close parking? Now that's what you use. What you got.
See, but that's funny. That's like
there's a line in there of like you have to do those kinds of things with some tact, and some people don't.
But see, here's the thing: we don't get many perks with CP.
No.
Okay, going at the front of the line at Busch Gardens and free parking in handicap parking is all we get. I mean, we don't get to reach into the gumball machine and go, I'm going to pick out a blue one. That doesn't work that way. I mean, I can go to Walmart and go, have you seen my baseball? And I'm pretty sure somebody's going to give me a free stuffed animal somewhere, okay? Because if I drool and I pee just at the right angle at the time that the store manager's walking by, he's going to go, dear God, give him something so he'll leave my store and never come back. And that's going to be the end of that conversation. But in all seriousness, being able to approach a girl, I could not approach a girl without cracking. When I was in high school, when I was in middle school, I was like, oh, God. Because in the back of my mind, they smelled pretty. All these girls and all these women wear this perfume, and you smell it, and your tongue is like, and the hormones are raging, and you've been experienced to halter tops and tight cut jeans where the ass sticks out just enough it goes wah 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 wah. You can't help but look, and your mind is going no, but you're just your CP is going touch it and see what happens.
In those interactions for me in high school, that's where it's like I don't have words. I can't like CP affecting speech. Like it's a thing. I mean,
but it's just like now let me jump forward a little bit. Okay, now I'm married. I thought I would never be married. I've dated several people. Dear God, some of the people I've dated. Oh, why? Because
all part of the lesson.
Now here, and I want to bring this up too, and I want to get your question, your thoughts on it. And Blake, maybe you can say something. I mean, I don't think you should settle just because you think that's all you're going to get. And a lot of people with disabilities feel if they say they love me, that's all I'm going to get. Don't do that. People throw the L word around like it's you can get anything you want, but you don't tell a girl you love her just to get her into bed for something that's going to last a minute. And then later on, it's, you've got something that you've got to worry about for a lifetime. You've got to be real and understand that you don't have to settle just because somebody says they love you. Or you don't have to settle with somebody because you think that's all you're going to get. One thing that I've learned is you sometimes have to take a step back and go, is this really working? Is this something that is this healthy for both of us? Because it takes two to make a relationship work. Let me say that offhand.
Mm-hmm.
It takes two just to make a relationship work.
Well, I feel like that's kind of common that I've noticed within all the groups that I'm in, that people just really want friends, even just, friendships, but also romantic relationships. And they're not sure how to get it. And I've seen people be like, here's my phone number, call me.
Yeah.
And it's like, we need that interaction, but that is not the way to do it, because that's inviting. You don't know who you're inviting with that number.
There it is. You just hit something on the head that I'm going to go to in just a second, but I want to get your thought on this statement right here. I don't think that anyone with a disability, there are some out there that are just going to try to get what they want. Mm-hmm. And that's just people. That's just people in general. They're trying to get what they want. The other side of it is there are people who, with disabilities, who see women as they truly are. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't see fat. I don't see ugly. I don't see black. I don't see white. I never have. I can't. I see people as they are. Now, I have to have some form of attraction to like somebody. I'm sorry. If I'm not attracted to you, it probably ain't going to happen. Okay? But there are different forms of attraction.
Exactly.
That will make me like you or not like you. I don't care how much money you got. Because I'm going to tell you, money ain't everything. Knowing how to manage the money you got will get you somewhere in your life.
That's a whole other topic right there.
See, we got unlimited time on this show, girl. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I want people to understand in the disabled community, don't rush. I have made the mistake of, ooh, girl, if you don't go with me right now, I'm going to fall on the floor and spasm out. I like this girl, man. I mean, I followed her around. I'd hit her in the back of the ankles with my chair. I would fall out of my chair on purpose, pray that she would help me up. She sat down beside me.
I never did the falling thing, too. Maybe I should try that,
I mean, Christina, I said I've fallen and I couldn't get up. And the real reason was I couldn't get up. So what she do? She called a boyfriend that was a football player to help me up. I'm like, damn, that's not what I wanted.
Oh.
So look, you strike out either way. But look, let me get serious for a minute. I think that men and women need to realize this is not a game. When you treat this as a game, you gonna get played. I remember dating a high school senior that took me on my first date and told me she wanted to be the mother of my children. I said, "Oh my God, take me home." She was 6'4".
If that's not a red flag right there.
One hand and put it in the car. I went home, went to my mama, and said, "I ain't never coming out the house again." She scared me, and that's no lie. That really happened. There are going to be times when you see something you want. But let me say this. You have to be patient, because letting her know you want her may scare her away. Telling her you love her and you want to be with her for the rest of her life, you're going to get punched in the face.
Start slow.
And I'm sure that it's, and when you like somebody, it's hard to take it slow because you want to let them know how you feel, but you've also got to understand that other person has feelings too, and they might be in a different place than you are.
Exactly.
You've always got to treat it really delicately, as difficult as it is, because the last thing that anybody wants is to scare away the person that they care about because they were too blunt about it.
Well,
I know. Mm-hmm. Go
that's
ahead, Kyle.
part of communication. You have to be mindful and aware of where they are. I mean, you have to be like, what are your goals? What do you want to do? I mean,
Right.
it's not just like, this is what I want and I hope you want it too, you know? It's one of those like, you know, hey, this is where I'm at. Where are you? How can we meet in the middle type of thing?
I think the biggest one of the biggest problems that I see in our disabled community for anyone with a disability is it's very hard to be lonely. But
Yes.
you can learn to be alone. And being alone, you can strengthen yourself. Now, Ms. Winnie just said something. I agree with Kyle. Take it slow. Slow and steady wins the race. But I want to say something. When there's a lot of these stories I hear. I had a disability and I was with my high school sweetheart and we've been together 18 years and we've never dated anybody else. And I don't want to date anybody else. And oh my God, I'd never do that because we're never going to get back together and then it's all going to be over. Look, date people. Understand. You've got to understand how it feels to date, but don't take advantage of a woman just to get something that you think you want. If you want to date people, date and learn what it's like to date. Learn what you like. Learn what you don't like. Learn what turns you off. Learn what turns you on. I look at a woman as a new car. Now, why would I say that? Why would I use that stereotype? When you get a new car, you don't just jump in that sumbitch and go 180, turn the mile, whom, and just go. No. You got to check the oil, you got to check the battery, you got to check the manual, figure out what all the buttons do. See, with women, it's all about pressing the right buttons. It's all sometimes a look and a rose and a piece of candy can go a long damn way. You ain't got to go and buy her no $3,000 ring. Don't do it. Don't do it, because when you commit to that, you got to understand, when you're with somebody for the rest of your life, that means you got to see the same face every damn day.
Yeah, I can speak from personal experience. It's not about how much you spend on anything. It's really not. It's about the connection, and it's about letting somebody know that you care.
Mm-hmm.
More than any of the money that you spend, it's more the level of understanding that you have with that person and just the level of care that you show for them.
Bring your camera up just a little bit, Christina, because
I have to say, my love language isn't buying you stuff. Like, mine is like, let's spend time together. That's how I show that I care about it.
That is two of the most powerful words in the English language. Knowing your love language is so important. Knowing the person that you're with is love language is so important. And if it is different, that's okay. Men and women don't have to agree on everything. Men and women in relationships, I don't care if you're gay, bisexual, blonde hair, brown hair, green hair, no hair, men, women, men, whoever, doesn't have to agree on every damn thing. It doesn't work that way. Men and women are made differently. We think differently. We act differently. We wear different underwear, some of us.
Well, you have to be willing to, not willing to agree, it's willing to compromise when you disagree. Like, where do you meet in the middle sometimes? And you have to be willing to try to do that.
Sometimes you're not going to agree. Like you just said, sometimes you have to agree to disagree and be okay with that. I believe that, and I've had to learn this, you can't make someone love you. It's either there or it's not. You can grow in love just the same way you can grow out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But just because it takes time to love somebody doesn't mean you can't grow together. I mean, there are some people that have been together 50 years and they're forcing it. You can't force a relationship and make it work. Eventually, it's going to crumble. There has to be compromise in every single relationship. Nothing goes one way all the time. And this is where people with disabilities struggle. Sex with a disability is hard. That's hard. And I'm saying this and I'm being totally honest. Sometimes you want it, sometimes she wants it, sometimes you want it, she don't want it. You've got to learn to trust each other. You can't force it. When she says no, you damn sure better respect it or she'll walk out on your ass, I'll tell you.
It all comes back to communication.
That and again, that right there is the number one reason why relationships don't work. Because people don't communicate and they hold shit in. You cannot hold shit in every day and expect something to get done. Now, this is where I struggle with. I'm going to just throw this out there. How many of you men, Kyle, let me ask you this. You ask a girl what's wrong. What's she say?
No.
What are you going to say? What is it, Kyle?
The common answer is nothing.
There you go. Now, let me say this. When a woman tells you nothing is wrong, take a second. And let me say this out loud. Sometimes she's got to figure out what's going on in her own brain. Sometimes she has to process it. If you have someone that you're dating or you're married to that's a processor, you better step back. Because it may take a day. It may take a couple of hours. Let her come to you. I have had to learn, and I'm still learning. You hear that? Hear what I'm saying? I've had to learn, and I'm still learning. When she says nothing and rolls her eyes, you better step back. Don't say, why did you roll your eye?
You know it's something. She
don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. A lot of women have to figure out how they feel and why something is bothering them. And men want to fix stuff. Oh, I'm going to figure out what's wrong. I'm not going to do that no more. I'm not going to approach that no more. I'm getting mine tonight. No, you're not. You might as well put it the furthest thing from your... It's got to be a compromise. Sometimes she's going to want to talk to, and sometimes all she wants you to do is shut up and listen. Don't say nothing. Just shut up and listen. Sometimes she just wants to cry. Sometimes, that's right, Miss Winnie, the men too. Sometimes the men just need to vent. Lord, girl, let me tell you what happened at work today. Let me tell you what happened at work today. I was on the assembly line and I burnt my finger and it hurt. And I told my boss it hurt. He made fun of me. And I felt bad because I burned my finger. And that's all it was. Sometimes men are hurt. Sometimes men are frustrated. Sometimes men are angry because sometimes we feel like a failure. Sometimes we feel like we're not good enough. Sometimes we want to give our girl everything we can. We want to reach up and give her the moon when all we can reach is a star. But that's got to be good enough because we're married to one. Boy, I wish she was in here to hear that one. Boy, that was a good one.
That's some words there, DJ.
I got to write that shit down. Sometimes we want to reach for the moon, but we can only get a star, but we're lucky because we're married to one. Oh, that's a good one. Write that one down, Mr. Wilson. You might learn something from that one.
Giving dating advice out here.
I understand that is hard. And you know what? Blake just said a good comment. Let me say this. I know he put LOL behind it. It is okay for men to cry. I don't know where this damn stereotype came from.
I can get emotional. I mean
that men can't cry. I hate that.
I don't know where that came from either, and that frustrates me too because I feel like I know a lot of guys in my life that it's like I can tell you're upset, but why don't you want to talk about it? Why, why do you, I don't know why there's this need to just keep it all in. We all know what happens when you do that. It explodes.
I think it comes from the society perception that men are supposed to be strong. And that's such an outdated way of thinking, in my opinion, that we are the strong ones and we are.
I think it, opens up the door. Sorry to cut you off, Kyle, if I did. I think it opens up the door for young boys not knowing how to deal with their emotions who grow into men that still don't know how to deal with their emotions. And I think we need to stop the idea that men can't be emotional about things, and that might be part of the reason why some women feel like men don't understand them, because men have been told, you're not going to be emotional, you're not going to do this, that, and the other. So how are they supposed to understand it from a perspective of someone who is more emotional? If they
don't know how to process it.
Right. They haven't had those life experiences. They haven't been able to process it as a woman might have. And I'm kind of speaking from my own experience here, because I know people who, were told in their lifetime that, men don't cry. And
do you understand what sorry to interrupt you, Christina. Do you understand what she just said right there? And I want to point this out. You understand what Christina just said? When young boys grow into men, they have to figure out that it's okay to deal with their own emotions, and sometimes you just got to let it go. This is it right here. Girls mature faster than boys. Scientific fact, guys. I'm not trying to throw anything out to say girls are cooler or girls are better. I'm saying girls mature faster than boys. A girl can hit puberty at the age between 8 and 12 years old. I've seen it as early as 8. And that wreaks havoc on a woman when a young girl becomes a teenager and becomes a woman and has to go through all of this thing. But Blake asked a very, very good question. How many times have we needed to vent to each other in our group? Sometimes you just got to vent. And for some reason, there's this stereotypical thing that men can't feel, or men have to hold everything in. Here's the bad part about holding everything in. When you hold everything in, you explode. Eventually, you explode. Eventually, everything that happens to you piles down, piles down, piles down, piles down. And the simplest thing can set it off. I held in my dad talking to me like a kid for 12 years. 12 years before I had that conversation. When I finally had it,
you probably sat there wondering why you didn't have it sooner.
Yeah.
I believe that communication is the key to everything. I believe if you can sit down and talk about it as people, not as you're a girl, I'm a guy, not as I like you, you like me, as DJ, Christina, and Kyle, as people. When we have a problem, when we feel a certain way, I'm not going to lie, I think Christina is awesome. I've thought Christina is awesome since day one. I'll be honest, I've been jealous of Kyle and his meekness and the meekness that he has, because I wish I could approach things that way sometimes with the innocence of a child inside. That is purity. There's a purity in that. This is something that people struggle with because they've been beaten all their lives, and they haven't had the freedom to say what they want to say because they've been talked down to all their lives, and they make it. Let me read this. This is beautiful right here. Blake said this. It's a stereotypical thing. Like Kyle said, men think we have to be the strong ones all the time. We think we have to keep everything in. That's why the suicide rate is usually higher for men, and why I have, because an advocate for men and its mental health. It needs to become more of a common thing that we need to help. We need to be able to open up. Sometimes we are broken and need help, and that's okay. That is a powerful comment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the truth.
Well,
on the head right there.
That is the truth. Sometimes we need help, and that's okay. Sometimes we need to talk. Sometimes we need to cry. Sometimes we need to vent, and that's okay. Sometimes we need that group to talk with.
And it doesn't make you weak. Can I just say that? It
Exactly.
Exactly. It makes you human. I'm going to say that again. It does not make you weak, men. It makes you human.
Well, I mean, I had a personal experience today about having a conversation that was long overdue, and after the conversation was had, I felt a lot better about it. And it's like, why didn't I let that go sooner?
Mm.
You know, you don't realize how much something weighs you down until you let it go.
But the other thing too, men, I a lot of times will assume something is wrong when it's not. As a man, I like to fix things. I like to make sure everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like to make sure everything is happy. I hate a sad mood. I hate a depressed mood. I love happy and go lucky and super duper, but sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you can't fix it. Sometimes you can't get a hold of it and realize what it's about. Because again, the struggles that we face as men and women, we have to realize we're not alone. And see, that's why I like this show. That's why I like Real Talk and about coming about topics that something's on my mind. That's why I decided to do this, or Shayna and I decided to do this 4-part series. Because what we talk about and the things that we go through, expect when you got a disability, it's hard enough already. You got your disability to topple with, and that makes you emotional by itself because you're in chronic pain, or your legs don't work, or you got one leg that's shorter than any other, and you got to figure out how to put your jeans and your socks on, and you got to figure out, well, what if she doesn't like me? What if I need help putting my socks and shoes on when I get married? What if I need help with my jeans when I get married? This is a common question, and it's okay. But you got to find the right one. Go ahead, Kyle.
With the right partner, those are concerns that you need to talk to them about. And if those are concerns that they don't like, then maybe that is the wrong person.
Right.
But if they really love you, those kinds of things aren't going to make or break the relationship.
Okay. You're exactly right to one point. Too much of anything is a bad thing. Eventually, it's going to wear and you don't realize it. The reason I say that, I tell everybody this that I care about. Being my true friend is a lot of work. That's an honest statement. Because I am the way I am. What you see is what you get. That is on my profile right now. And I'm very, very open. I love Emily to death. I know the things we're going through. I know the things that we talk about. But I also know when she's not happy. Do I try to get it out of her sometimes when I don't want her to be upset? Yeah. Does she want me to be happy too? Yeah, she does. And I understand that. We have to realize in life that a relationship takes time and effort. We're not always going to get it right. Every relationship is going to have that moment. You're going to say, "Can I just go in the other room? Because if I got to be in here one more minute, it's going to be a pillow fight, and I really don't want to damage the pillow." I
just want to say
take effort all the time, though. You can't get comfortable.
They
Yeah. No, see, that's where it's different, Kyle. That's you can get comfortable, and that's what happens.
Well, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like you constantly have to work at it, because when you start getting comfortable, then things start to slip.
And it's an effort to really make sure that she's happy. How many times do when I call, I say, "Are you all right?" I did it today. I said, "Are you all right?" I talk because I wanted Christina to be a part of this, because y'all two see things somewhat similar and somewhat different. It just fits. Like it's a you when you've been friends for so long, and then you know how each other reacts, but you also know each other how each other feels. It's hard to kind of go, do I want to step back from this, and is this really what I'm thinking, or what am I feeling? For me, I can't. I had to realize I can't fix everything. I can't make everything okay all the time. I can try. I can go get all the candy and flowers you want. Then she's going to eat the candy and say, I shouldn't have ate that because I'm going to be fat. And the flowers are going to die. And now we start the whole process over. And I said, well, fuck, I done bought the candy and the flowers. What do I do now? Shit. Just trying to make you smile a little bit.
Well, it goes, I mean, making someone happy comes in many different forms. I mean, Christina, we had a conversation yesterday where I was like, I don't know what to say to this. I'm sorry that and she said, all I need you to do is listen.
Right, and that goes for friendships too. Like I've had, some serious back pain lately, and yeah, Kyle says, I just wish I could understand, but know that we don't always have to understand exactly what someone else is going through to be there for them. And I think that works in friendships and, dating and marriage relationships too. Sometimes we just need somebody to be there. And it's okay to realize that we can't fix everything as much as we might want to. Sometimes that person just needs someone to listen, and to be that sounding board when we need it. And that has to go for both, and I think women need to do that for men, and men need to do that for women. It needs to be a reciprocal thing. Like Kyle and I have talked before about how sometimes you have a friend that's calling you and telling you about their problems and telling you about their problems and telling you about their problems. It just wears on you. And I think in any relationship that you have to have some give and take in order for that to work, for you to be able to mutually support each other instead of one of you just weighing the other one down. Constant
negativity will kill a relationship.
It's so toxic. So toxic. This is a good conversation. My laptop is on 2%. I'm going to turn off my camera 1 sec. I'm still here. I got to go plug this in. All right. I didn't want you to think I left you. I'm still here.
Yeah, no, you've been talking about can't fixing me. I am a fixer. That's just part of my personality of trying to want to fix and help people. I'm a helper. I want you to be okay. And that's been one of the hardest realizations, is realizing I can't help everyone. I can help myself by not trying to help everyone, because trying to help everyone it was wearing me thin, if I'm being honest. And
how did you come to the realization that you couldn't fix everything? What was the point?
When I was up at 3 a.m. and being like, here I still am on the phone. I really want to go to bed, but you're having a crisis. And eventually, it was just like, I can't. I can't. These things are not things that I can really change. So I had to institute a 10 p.m. my phone's off type of thing. I just had to, for my own mental health. I had to say, this is me stepping back. You need to fix this problem.
And that's people. And that's good, because what you did there was you set your own boundaries. And setting boundaries is something that everybody needs to do. In the last part of what I want to cover in the show today, and I'm really glad that we've gotten the comments that we got, and I'm glad that Blake joined the show because, and I'm glad that everybody joined the show. I want to say this, and I want to say this very, very clearly and very, very careful. Please understand what I'm saying. Dating and marriage is two different things. Marriage is not just a piece of paper. Marriage is a commitment to both individuals, and it is a lifelong commitment. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it does not. Either way, even if it doesn't, you can still be friends and not hurt each other. I have heard so many people, once you married to her, you can't be friends. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it.
I hate that.
Okay, and I'm just going to be real open and honest here. Like with Kyle and I previously dating, people have said, like, oh, you're still friends. Isn't that awkward? And it's like, well, no, because we were friends first, and two, after some conversations we had, we're just better communicators about a lot of things these days, and it makes it so much easier to understand the relationship that we have. And we've said before that we don't need to explain our friendship to anybody. It means what it means to us, and we understand it, and that's the most important thing. And I think that's great advice right there for any relationship that you have. As long as you and the other person are on the same page about the type of relationship that you have, you don't owe a gosh darn explanation to anybody. And that's that. It is what it is. Like,
I think I need
it out of my mouth.
Host for the show because you just took it right there. Everything that you just said right there was perfect. Because we were friends first, it was not awkward. There are so many people that want to jump in there and hit it and quit it. I will say this, and I'm an open and honest book. Guys, here it comes. I know it's going. I had sex before marriage. Worst thing I could have ever done. Worst thing. Not currently, but I have had sex before marriage. Worst thing I could have ever done. Because when you have sex with someone and you're not committed to them, you have given the ultimate form of yourself to each other. Once you have sex with a person, you can't go no deeper than that. That's as deep as you can get. That is the ultimate form of bond. That is the number one thing that you can do to be close to your partner. And when you do it before marriage, it messes it up. It messes it up. I did not understand that until it was too late. I dated somebody for 12 years, and I said, okay, I'm settling. I'm going to be with her because I have sex with her. I've known her for almost 22 years to the point of, and I had to break away. There was a soul tie there. It crushed me. It crushed me because it's something that happens. That is the closest form of intimacy to me that you can have. And if I do that with somebody else before I put that ring on that finger, you can't go back. And it only takes a little while. Something that you do for a minute can change you for a lifetime. I used protection and I did all the things I was supposed to do. But it could have gone wrong. And I don't want to live my life on a coulda. Now, let me say this. You got to be friends first. That is so so important.
Well, how do you expect to be friends with somebody that you weren't friends with before when you don't have a bond established? If you just date and decide, let's try to be friends, you don't really know that person as a friend. So
that's exactly right.
That's kind of murky. It's doable. I'm not saying it's not doable, but you're then trying to establish like, oh, we didn't like that. Let's try to be. It's kind of hard to go backwards.
I feel like it would be hard to go backwards too, and that's where like I don't have that experience. I don't know what it's like to date first and then try to be friends. I guess the thing that I could say is that you do want to get to know somebody, as a person before starting your relationship. And if you really, are patient and take your time with getting to know them, I think that it might be easier to go back to being friends if something doesn't work out because you took the time to like get to know them first.
The other part of it is there are some people in this world, there's some men and some women that can have sex at the drop of a hat just for the release. I can't do that. My brother
you have to know what you want.
Yep. My brother doesn't understand it. People don't understand it. I cannot do that. I cannot just have sex with somebody to have sex with them. I can do other stuff. But I tell you what, I can't just have sex with them to be. No. You have to establish. Most people that are in a relationship do one of three things too early. They share too much too fast. They have sex too early. And they say I love you too early. Those three things, share too much too fast, have sex too early, and say I love you too early. Love is a powerful thing. That's very true. The love has to be there before I give my body to anyone. I agree with that. That is so true. I have made a mistake, and that's what it is, a mistake. But I learned from it.
You have to be willing to try to learn.
To answer that, now I'm curious about what the other stuff you talking about. Let me just. I have learned now that there are many other things that you can do in a relationship besides have sex. You can hold a woman close. You can kiss her. You can caress her. You can love her. You can be truthful to her. You can show her affection without having sex with her to show her that you love her, and to be truthful and to be honest. And that is the last thing I want to cover. Honesty in a relationship. Honesty in a relationship, to me, is everything.
Without honesty, you have nothing.
Thank you.
You're building false.
I mean, yeah, without honesty, there's not trust. And I feel like you really have to be able to trust somebody that you've, dedicated yourself to, so to speak. And, you want to know that they're the person they say they are, and they're going to do what they say they're going to do. And without honesty, you don't have a lot.
It's like you're building a sand castle. It's going to get wiped.
Yes. Well said. Oh. And the waves come crashing in, and what happens to the sand? It takes in that moisture and it crumbles. You have to have a good foundation to build a proper relationship. Whether you're dating, is there a proper time for engagement? It's kind of hard to say. I say at least a year. I say at least a year. You want to date at least a year before you even start talking about it, because in the first couple of months, it's all going to be rose-colored glasses. When that stuff comes out, when she starts doing shit to irritate you, like leave stuff around if she don't clean up after herself. One of my exes, I never never told her this, and it pissed me off something fierce. She'd walk in, I'd clean the house, I'd do the dishes, I'd mop the floors, and I'd do the laundry. She'd walk in and leave a soda can sitting somewhere. And I'm like, God damn it, if you don't pick that up. I never said that. I just bit my tongue, went in over there, put it in the trash can.
That's the bottling it in that you're not supposed to do.
Right.
That's
So
dishonesty too.
So see, I believe that if you're honest with a person, I believe that a hug and a kiss can mean as much. I believe that putting on a romantic CD and laying there watching a movie and having her fall asleep on your chest listening to your heartbeat, that to me is it right there. When I have her close and I'm calm and I'm laid back with my mouth open, drooling on one side, snoring on the other, but she listening to my heartbeat, that's it right there. Being close, sitting under the stars, watching the moonlight, sitting in front of a campfire, feeding someone marshmallows, asking her how her day was. Tell your women they're beautiful. Tell them that they smell nice. Tell them how you feel, but don't falsify it. Make it real. Tell her she looks nice in that dress. Don't tell her you want to get her out of it. Tell her she looks nice in it. Tell her how much she means to you, because you could wake up tomorrow and be without her. That's the thing you got to think about.
See, and those little things right there mean so much. Not even just in a romantic relationship, in any friendship. When somebody tells you something and you know that they're genuine, it makes you feel good. And I think we all need more of that, being honest with each other and telling each other, when we appreciate something, when we like something.
She hit another word right on the money. Genuine. In other words, be real.
Right. And I think people are afraid to be genuine sometimes, but it goes such a long way when we're like, hey, I see what again, this doesn't even have to be in a romantic relationship. I had a female coworker come into my room last week after school and tell me that she loves seeing what I'm doing and she thinks I'm doing a great job. And I'm over here like, you like me and you think I'm doing a great job. Oh my God. But that is the stuff right there, because I knew that it was genuine and it means so much. It doesn't have to be some kind of a grand gesture to show your appreciation for somebody.
I'm a person that I love tattoos. I always have. And there was a lady, she was in Food Lion and I was over getting ice cream, and she had a tattoo of an eagle on her shoulder. And it was just beautiful. She had an eagle on one shoulder and a tiger on the other. And I told her, I said, your tattoos are beautiful. I said, I have eagles and tigers all around my house. And she turned around and she's, oh, thank you. That's so nice. And as she walked closer, she had poured like 15 gallons of perfume on herself. So I said, Jesus God, she's walking closer. And I was like, okay, thank you so much. I can't breathe. I'm trying to get, some air. And she goes, no, aren't you just a Casanova? And I said, no, I just like your tattoo. And she stopped. And she got mad because I wouldn't flirt with her. I stopped the conversation because I knew where she was going. And then I turned around. When she turned around, I saw what she was wearing. I said, oh, Jesus, no, you ain't going there. I'm going to go down this aisle, take my ice cream, and go home. That's it. She going to chase me down the aisle. Tell me something. Wait a minute. Are you going home by yourself? I said, yes, I am. But see, that's the thing. A lot of people are so quick to try to jump into something because somebody tells them what they want to hear. Tell them the truth. One question I can't stand is if somebody says, do I look fat in this dress? You're not fat. Does this shirt make my butt look too big? I like your butt just the way it is. See, you can't combat that. And a lot of women will say, "Oh, you just saying that, am I?" So I'm not truthful. So I don't tell you the truth. No. That's not what I did. Yes, it is. You said I'm just saying that. See, that's when they stop and think. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. To me, you can sit there and smile at me on the couch, and I'm good to go. You ain't got to wear the red leather pumps and the pocketbook and the edible panties and all that. No, and I'm see, people think that that's all it's about. It's not. It's not. There is so much more in a hearty conversation of realism.
The truth cannot long be hidden. So telling someone what they want to hear and the truth's going to come out. So
I think society is quick to, it's a lot easier to tell somebody what they want to hear. But like Kyle said, the honesty is the best policy, because at some point it's going to come to light anyway, even if you'd rather not talk about it.
My brother said the truth cannot long be hidden. Dad.
So you better hope that what they want to hear and the truth is the same thing, because when they realize it's the opposite.
And I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to say this out loud. Women ain't stupid. They going to find shit out.
Uh-huh.
I have never told my wife she cannot go through my phone. I have never told my wife she cannot go through my email. She cannot go through my Skype. She cannot go through any of the conversations I have on Facebook. Because what I'm going to say to them, I can say in front of her. I'm not going to say things ain't got misconstrued now.
Well, if you're someone that has to hide, then you don't need to be in the relationship to begin with.
Right.
Boy, you hitting them now. See, Kyle done got in his groove. We done got through the show. Kyle in his groove, just popping them. That's true. That's so true. See, and when you find the right one, I'm gonna be front row. Because you know what? I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna learn from it. When Kyle finds the right one, with your sincerity towards people, that's kind of I'm like, damn, dude, you're gonna be happy as hell when you find the right one. And because you got it, you got all the little neon, what's it,
nuances?
Yeah, nuances of the things to say. But I mean, brother, that's true right there. God dang. I'm gonna be at the back of the wedding eating the cake and be like, damn, Kyle got that. I'm gonna have to go talk to him for a minute and see what I did wrong. No, but I'm saying that's the innocence that innocence that I'm talking about. That's what I mean. And that's hard to find in a person. That's hard to find, because a lot of people put on that fake front, which I can't stand. They're gonna say one thing to your face, and then you turn around, they stab you in the back with the ice pick. They trying to break the ice pick. I love that, man. That's you gonna find, and Christina too. Y'all both are pure people, like, because see, that's why like I kind of cover y'all a lot. I try to stand up for y'all, make sure you're okay. It's just because I care about y'all as individuals, because it's hard to find pure people. It's hard to find pure people. But one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it like it is. I ain't got nothing to hide because I wear my shit on my sleeve. I can't hide nothing. I can try like hell, but it don't work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pure to the point of I give you everything I got. That's my thing. I'm pure.
You're real, DJ. You are.
I see because I choose to be. Because I learned when you lie and you try. When I was oh God, when I was a hornball back in the day, shoot, none of that stuff worked. It was all false. Man, like I said, all I wanted to do back in the day was go in the girls' locker room. I went in the girls' locker room one time. I said, damn, it stinks in here. Just like in the boys' locker room. But it ain't. Look, we're all. Blake, I'll be honest. You and Kyle or you and Kyle are two of the purest men I know. I'm gonna tell you something. That ain't no joke. I honestly think when it comes to figuring life out, we can joke around all the time, and I can be funny and make you laugh and say all this stuff, but it's got to come down to what do you want to accomplish. And I'm gonna ask y'all this, the last question of the night. What do you think? And I'm gonna answer after. What do you think your partner should be? What do you think your partner should be?
Well, I mean, I think my partner should want to make me be better for the most part. I need them to be honest. I need them to be open. I need them to be willing to, work with me because, as we said, CP is challenging. So, I don't expect them to just not get frustrated, but I just expect them to communicate with me, be honest with me, love me, CP and all, and and I want them to make me want to be better for and it has to be equal. I don't know. That's just what at first instinct, that is what came from. So
and that's good, man. I mean, seriously, I'm like, let me write that one down, that one down. Go ahead, Christina.
I think I just would look for someone with loyalty and drive. I want someone, who's got their goals and like I'm going to help them reach their goals and they're going to help me reach mine. Like somebody who's, really like in it to win it with me, and we're just this is what we're going to do and we're going to go for it. Because, like working together through things is like, the easy stuff and the not so easy stuff. I want somebody that's going to just work through things together and just go for those goals.
Beautiful.
What about you, Mr. DJ Carter?
Me.
I mean, you have a partner. That's the thing. Christina and I are single. So like you have found your person. So how are you feeling?
You see what happened right there? You see what happened right there? That was the uh-oh. You see that moment? I said, have I? All I'm gonna say is this. I have learned so much about myself. Loyalty, that one, that's at the top of my list. I'm an individual that it doesn't take much to figure me out. Christina said something that got me a little bit because in real life, when it comes to a partnership, when it comes to a relationship, honesty and loyalty are very close and very similar, but also very different. To be loyal to somebody, to truly love somebody is hard. To love somebody with everything that you've got is hard. to love them when they don't love you the same way is even harder. But to be honest, I just want truthful. If I'm it, I'm it. If I'm not, that's okay too. Don't settle with me because you think you have to. Don't 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 be with me because you think you're supposed to. If you love me, you love me. You don't, you don't.
Be with me because you want to be with me, not because people think we go together or that you feel bad for me or anything like that. It should be because you want to be with that person.
I'm not hard to figure out. You can ask me any question you want live on this show. You can ask me any question on the phone. I'll tell you the truth. You may not like what you hear, but I'll tell you the truth. I give my love language is I'm very much to give and to spend time. That's mine. When you said your love language earlier, Kyle, I'm like, yep. That's going back to that innocence about being a true man of God and knowing where you stand. I'll say this: I don't always often know where I stand, but I know where I sit, and I do it quite well. I do it quite well. I want to thank y'all for being on the show because, see, this is the part where when it gets real like this, and when it's all the stuff, when you catch me off guard, and you ask me a question, and it's like every partner and every individual has weaknesses and strong points, and in a relationship where I'm weak, my partner's strong, or my partner's strong, or when my partner's weak, I'm strong, and it's something that really makes you have to think to the point of you got to ask your question. You got to ask this question: is it really what you want? Are you really truly happy? When you look in front of the mirror and you ask yourself that question, tell yourself the truth. And if you're not, do something about it. So many people stay in a relationship because they think they have to. So many people are abused every day. So many people are verbally abused and mentally abused and physically abused because they stay because they think they have to. Are y'all happy where you are right now?
I'm happy that I'm working on where I'm going.
Boy, I'm gonna tell you. Well, if you were starting for a baseball team tonight, you'd be 4 for 4. I'm happy I'm working on where I'm going. Can I could better. I agree that. I agree with that one. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Couldn't have said it better. I mean, like I'm personally not in the spot where I'm looking for a relationship right now. I believe that it'll happen when it needs to happen, but until then, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing what I love, and just trust that the right person's gonna come along and it's gonna happen when it needs to. So
I'm happy that I've figured out myself, and I'm happy that I give my all. I'm happy that I will continue to do that. I'm happy that I have someone who loves me. I'm happy that I am where I am, and I'm happy about where I'm going. I'm happy on the path to get there. That's man. All right, I got wow. This is just I got a couple comments here. I want to read them. I was in a type of relationship before I refused. I was in a type of relationship before I refused to be, and not happy anymore. Being single is the best now. Is the best right now, and that sometimes is where you got to be. You know what I am right now. Let's see. You know what I am right now is not where I want to be in life, but it's where I need to be. Well said. Guys, I want to thank you for being on the show.
Thank
if
you.
you want to, yeah, I'm really happy that I brought you both on. We had a lot of fun. We talked about some serious stuff. We're gonna cover more about relationship next week. I'm gonna be do part 2. I may bring you guys back on if you're up for it. I may bring someone else in. It all depends. I love having you guys on the show. Thank you so much for being part of it, and this was very helpful.
Thank you.
Do you guys have any closing thoughts before we get out of here?
Just take time to figure out what you want before you enter into a relationship. I think, be secure in who you are before you enter into a relationship, because that helps you give your best self to that person.
I would also add to that, make sure that it's what you really want and not what society is telling you should have. Because I feel like, the societal pressure and the peer pressure to do things a certain way is there too. But you have to make sure that it's what you really want and not just what others think you should have.
My closing thought is this. The word relationship says 3 things. Relay. Relay things to one another. Rely on one another. Trust one another. Teach one another. Be part of one another. But also take time to yourselves and be individuals. Shunship. A relationship is very much like a boat in the ocean. Sometimes the storms are raging, and sometimes the waves are busting underneath. Sometimes the sea is calm, and sometimes you can see the stars above you. Sometimes you can't tell what the hell is going on, and you're holding on for dear life. And sometimes it's smooth sailing. Point is, it takes work.
It's a wild ride.
It takes work, and you've got to work at it. Nothing is simple about marriage, and nothing is simple about relationships. I'll put it like that. All right, guys. I want to close out. If you guys want to be a guest on the show, you can email me at carterdj85@gmail.com. Put in the subject line, guest on Real Talk on Wheelzs Talk, and we'll see about getting you in. I always say, if you can't be good, be bad, but be good at it. Thank you, Kyle and Christina, for being on the show. And yeah, Miss Winnie, I did. I got a little sentimental on us. Sometimes that happens. I apologize about that.
Hey, man can have emotions too. No problem.
Yes, you are case in point right there.
Yeah,
right there.
I love that. It is. Yeah. But y'all take it easy. If you can't be good, be bad, but be good at it. We will see you next Tuesday for episode 3 of Real Talk, Get Real on Wheelzs Talk, and we'll see you Wednesday for My CP Does Not Define Me on www.letgoradio.net and Facebook Live. See you when I see you guys.
See ya.
Bye.